If you were born under the sign of Aries, this year may already feel different to you. Not in the obvious surface-level way that most people notice when something changes. It is deeper than that. It is a feeling in your bones, a shifting in the atmosphere of your inner world, a sense that the ground beneath you is rearranging itself to support something new, something bigger, something you have been preparing for without even knowing it. This message is about what 2026 could mean for you. Not as a prediction, not as a promise, but as a map of possibilities that are already forming in the energetic landscape of your life. Stay with me through every part of this, because the picture only becomes clear when you see it whole. Direction 1. The first thing that makes 2026 significant for Aries is a new relationship with courage itself. You have always been brave. That is not news to anyone who knows you. But the courage you have carried most of your life was reactive. It was the courage of response, the courage of fighting back, the courage of standing your ground when someone or something tried to push you down. That kind of bravery served you well. It kept you alive during seasons when survival was the only thing that mattered. But this year, a different kind of courage is emerging. Quieter kind. The courage to be vulnerable. The courage to ask for help. The courage to admit that you do not have all the answers and that you do not need to. This new courage does not replace the old one. It builds on top of it. Imagine a warrior who has won every battle, but now faces a challenge that cannot be fought with a sword. The weapon required is honesty, openness, the willingness to let someone see you without your armor. That is the terrain of 2026 for you. And if that sounds frightening, it should. True courage always feels like fear before it feels like freedom. But you are ready for this. Every year of your life has been preparing you for this exact moment. When bravery stops being about what you can endure and starts being about what you can reveal. Direction 2. The second marker of this new phase has to do with how you experience time. You have noticed it already, even if you have not put words to it. Time feels different this year. Not faster or slower exactly, but heavier. More significant. As if every day carries a weight of meaning that it did not have before. This is not your imagination. When a person enters a pivotal phase of their life, their relationship with time shifts. Moments that once blurred together start becoming distinct. Conversations you would have forgotten yesterday start staying with you for days. Small interactions, a look from a stranger, a word from a friend, a sunset that stopped you in your tracks. These things are registering more deeply now. And they are registering because you are ready to receive them. For years, you moved through life at a pace that did not allow for this kind of depth. You were busy surviving, busy achieving, busy proving to yourself and the world that you could handle whatever came your way. And you could. You did. But now, with the wisdom that only comes from having lived long enough to see patterns repeat and break, you are slowing down enough to actually inhabit your moments. This is not a decline. This is an arrival. You are finally present in your own life in a way you never quite managed before. And that presence is the doorway through which everything else this year will enter. The opportunities, the connections, the insights, the growth. All of it requires you to be here. Fully here. And for the first time in a very long time, you are. Direction 3. The third element of this new phase involves your physical body and the way it communicates with you. 2026 is asking you to listen to your body with a new level of attention and respect. Not as an afterthought, not as something to manage or push through, but as a partner, as an ally, as the most honest voice you have access to. Your body has been speaking to you for years, and much of what it said went unheard because you were too focused on the demands of the external world. But now, the external world is quieting just enough for the internal world to be heard. And what your body is saying matters. It is telling you where your boundaries are. It is showing you what nourishes you and what depletes you. It is pointing, with unmistakable clarity, toward the habits and environments and relationships that support your well-being and away from the ones that do not. This is not about becoming obsessed with health or turning your body into a project. It is about developing the kind of respectful partnership with your physical self that allows you to move through this next chapter with vitality and presence. Because what is coming requires your full participation. And your body knows that even if your mind has not caught up yet. Direction 4. The fourth direction 2026 is opening for you has to do with emotional honesty. This is a year when pretending stops working. The masks you have worn, the roles you have played, the versions of yourself you created to meet other people's expectations, They are becoming too heavy to carry. And instead of seeing this as a crisis, I want you to see it as a liberation. Because the truth is, those masks were never really you. They were survival tools. They were adaptations. They were clever, necessary disguises that got you through situations where being fully yourself felt too dangerous. But you are not in those situations anymore. The danger has passed. And the cost of continuing to pretend is now greater than the cost of being real. This year, you are being invited to strip away the layers and let the world see who you actually are. Not the polished version. Not the brave version. Not the version that never needs anything from anyone. The real version. The one who sometimes doubts. The one who sometimes aches. The one who has loved so deeply that the loving itself left marks. That version of you is not weaker than the armored one. It is infinitely stronger. Because it takes more courage to be seen as you truly are than it does to hide behind a performance. And the people who respond to the real you, the ones who stay when the mask comes off, those are the ones worth building a life with. Those are the connections that will carry you through whatever comes next. Direction 5. The fifth marker of this new phase is a shift in your relationship with money and material security. This is not about a sudden windfall or a dramatic financial change, although those are not impossible. It is about something more fundamental. Your definition of enough is changing. For most of your life, enough was a moving target. No matter how much you had, it never quite felt like enough because there was always someone who had more. Always a bill you were not prepared for. Always a lurking fear that it could all disappear tomorrow. But this year, something is settling inside you around this issue. A quietness. A trust. Not the naive trust of someone who has never struggled, but the earned trust of someone who has struggled plenty and discovered that they always found a way through. That trust is your greatest financial asset. Because when you stop making decisions from a place of scarcity and start making them from a place of sufficiency, the decisions themselves become wiser, more intentional, more aligned with what you actually need rather than what fear tells you to hoard or chase. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Direction 6. The sixth direction opening for you in 2026 involves the people closest to you. Your inner circle is going through a quiet restructuring. Some relationships that have been central to your life for years may begin to feel less essential. Not because anything went wrong, but because you are growing in a direction that naturally shifts the balance. Other relationships, perhaps ones you had written off or ones that are just now forming, may begin to take on unexpected importance. This is not something to resist. It is the natural consequence of personal evolution. When you change, your relationships change. When you grow, the people who match your growth move closer and the ones who do not begin to drift. This process can feel disorienting, even painful at times. But trust it. The connections forming around you now are the ones that will support the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. And there is something deeply beautiful about being surrounded by people who see and celebrate the current version of you, rather than mourning or resisting the changes. Direction 7. The seventh element of this new phase is a renewed sense of purpose. Purpose is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but for you in this year it takes on a very specific meaning. You are beginning to understand that your purpose is not a single grand mission. It is not one thing you are meant to do before you die. Your purpose is the way you do everything. It is the quality of attention you bring to each moment, the care you put into each interaction, the integrity you maintain in each decision. When purpose becomes about how rather than what, it stops being something you have to find and becomes something you already possess. You have been living with purpose your entire life. Every time you chose honesty over convenience. Every time you showed up for someone who needed you. Every time you kept going when everything inside you wanted to stop. That was purpose. That was always purpose. And in 2026, that understanding deepens. It roots itself in you in a way that makes every day feel meaningful. Not because extraordinary things are happening, but because you are present enough to recognize the extraordinary in the ordinary. Direction 8. The eighth direction this year is opening has to do with creativity. Not necessarily artistic creativity, although that may be part of it. The kind of creativity I am talking about is the ability to see new possibilities in familiar situations. to look at the same life you have been living and imagine it differently, to take the raw materials of your experience, your skills, your knowledge, your relationships, your resources, and combine them in ways you have never tried before. This creative energy is waking up inside you, and it may express itself in unexpected ways. A new idea for how to spend your time, a new approach to an old problem, a new way of connecting with someone you have known for years. Do not dismiss these creative impulses as impractical or silly. They are signals from a part of you that has been dormant, and its awakening is one of the most exciting aspects of what 2026 holds for your sign. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Direction 9. The ninth element of this new phase concerns your relationship with the past. This is a year when old stories begin to lose their power over you. Not because you forget them, not because you deny them, but because you finally see them for what they really were. Chapters. Just chapters, not the whole book. For too long, certain experiences from your past have defined the way you see yourself and the world. A betrayal that made you suspicious of trust. A failure that made you afraid of trying. A loss that made you guard your heart like it was the last precious thing you owned. But in 2026, those stories are beginning to release their grip. You are starting to see that who you are today is not who you were then. That the person who was hurt is not the person you have become. That the lessons from those experiences have already been absorbed into the fabric of who you are. And the pain itself no longer needs to be carried. This release does not happen all at once. It happens in layers. One morning you wake up and realize that something that used to bring tears now brings only a quiet acceptance. One afternoon you catch yourself laughing at a memory that used to make you cringe. One evening you notice that the weight on your chest, the one that has been there so long you forgot what it felt like to breathe without it, is a little lighter than it was yesterday. Direction 10. The 10th direction involves your spiritual life, however you define that. Whether you pray, meditate, walk in nature, sit in silence, or simply pause to watch the light change at the end of the day, your connection to something larger than yourself is deepening this year. This is not about religion or dogma. It is about the quiet, private recognition that you are part of something vast and meaningful. That your life, with all its imperfections and struggles and unexpected beauties, is woven into a pattern too large to see from where you stand but too real to deny. In 2026, this connection becomes a source of genuine comfort. Not the kind of comfort that avoids reality, but the kind that allows you to face reality with grace. The kind that says, I do not understand everything, but I trust that there is something holding me. And that trust, that willingness to lean into the mystery instead of fighting it, brings a depth to your daily experience that nothing else can provide. Direction 11. The 11th direction is about legacy. You have started thinking about what you leave behind. Not in a morbid way, not with anxiety or dread, but with a thoughtful intentionality that gives weight to your choices. What mark will your years on this earth leave on the people who shared it with you? What wisdom will carry forward? What love will echo beyond your own story? These questions are not heavy. They are clarifying. They help you see which actions matter and which are just noise. They help you prioritize the things that will last over the things that merely glitter. And in a year that is asking you to grow in courage and direction, this sense of legacy provides the compass. It points you toward the choices that align with who you truly are and away from the ones that serve only your short-term comfort. Direction 12. The 12th and final direction opening for you in 2026 is the most personal of all. You are beginning to love yourself. Not in the performative way that social media encourages. Not in the surface-level way that buys things and calls it self-care. In the deep, unconditional, trembling with honesty way that looks at every flaw, every failure, every regret, and says, you are still worthy. You are still good. You are still deserving of kindness and joy and peace. This self-love has been a long time coming. It has been built brick by brick through every experience you survived, every boundary you set, every time you chose yourself after years of choosing everyone else. And in this year, it is reaching a critical mass. A tipping point where the love you feel for yourself becomes the dominant force in your life, rather than the quiet whisper it used to be. Everything we have walked through today, every direction, every possibility, every element of this new phase, it all leads to the same place. It leads to you. standing at the threshold of a year that could genuinely transform your life. Not through luck or fortune or circumstances beyond your control, but through the quiet, deliberate, courageous act of deciding that you are ready. You are ready for more courage. You are ready for deeper connections. You are ready for the kind of growth that does not just change what you do but changes who you are. And that readiness, that willingness to step into the unknown with your heart open and your hands extended, that is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Not just this year, but for every year that follows. Because once you start growing in this direction, you do not stop. You cannot stop. The momentum carries you forward, and the life that unfolds from here will be nothing like the one you imagined. It will be better, because it will be real. And real, for an Aries who has spent a lifetime fighting for what matters, is the only thing worth having. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.